Hello everyone. I'm level 36 and welcome back to Stationeers. Last time we built an advanced furnace, which brings us one step closer to accomplishing our goals of kind of getting the survivability framework set up here on Vulcan. And we're getting there. So we have food, we have oxygen from our food source as well. We have materials, workbenches, power, a livable space. We have some degree of cooling, although could probably be improved. And we've got trading as well. But we're missing, I think, the last critical element to sustained long-term, or at least longer than what we are right now, life on Mars, which is water. So, since we don't get ices here on Vulcan, we cannot just go mine a whole bunch of water ice. We have to make our water from oxygen and hydrogen, or volatiles, because volatiles are, for all intents and purposes, hydrogen in the game, even though there is hydrogen. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. Essentially, we need to use an H2 Combustor. So I think if I still have that spare atmospherics kit kicking around somewhere, which I probably used when I built my, which I definitely used, not probably. Whoops. Well, anyway, we can look here. H2 Combustor. So this machine takes volatiles and oxygen, burns them, and creates water. Now this is a real reaction, like this happens when you burn things. It's combining hydrogen and oxygen to create water vapor. And so we need to do that in order to get more water, because our plants are gently sipping on our remaining supply. So if we head into our pressurized area, this is our only supply of water right now, and it's down to 27.4 liters, which is still quite a bit, but not nearly enough to keep us alive in the long term, especially if we ever want to increase our oxygen production scale. And boy, do we want to increase this by a lot. So let's get to it. There's going to be some challenges. Let's actually, while we're here, drink some of our water. And top up on food, which I think I still have a potato somewhere in here. Or maybe not. Or if I did, it's fallen behind a shelf somewhere. Replant that one. Replant that one. Slap that one in there. Make me a baked potato. There we go. Oh, I do hope everyone is having a good day today. I had a great holiday time, doing some catching up on recording while I got some time off. I hope everyone had a good holiday as well.
Low pressure.
Oxygen critical. Whoops. Let's not kill ourselves in the airlock while we're at it. But let's see what we need to make a atmospherics kit. Not in this, apparently. I think it's probably in the electroprint. It seems like most things are actually made in the electroprint later on in the game. Actually, it would make more sense if it was made in the hydraulic pipe bender, because that's, you know, kind of its whole shtick. There we go. Iron, gold, and copper. That's lead. There it is. I did do some mining between sessions, so I have plenty of resources, which we need some more of. We were constantly running out of silicon, so I got a whole bunch of silicon, some copper, and some more steel. So we're probably only going to need one of these, but essentially what we're going to do here is we're just going to feed it a fuel mixture, and it's going to burn it. So if we go over here, this is where I'm going to set this all up. We put in fuel and get out water vapor. Where should I put this? Right about, yeah. Here should be fine. So if we read its manual page, this takes in a fuel mixture, burns a mixture of volatiles and oxygen to create water. Extremely useful in our current hot and arid environment. But it's not 100% efficient, and it's also produces water that's completely undrinkable because it's a gas and also incredibly hot. What do you want to finish you off? Probably wrench and pipes. How did I know? Do I have any pipes? Nope. Can't just use insulated pipes. Gotta use the real thing. Cable coils and screwdrivers. There we go. So, if we feed in some fuel mixture from our fuel tank here, and I kind of put this here so it'd be nice and easy to set up. I'd like also to probably grab a valve, because I don't want, well, I could probably just turn it off. No, I should grab a one-way valve, just in case. It's actually a valve. There we go. Are we just building this in the floor? Yeah, it's fine. It's the starter base. All sins are forgiven in the starter base. And then we are likely going to want to set up some kind of check valve or something for this system, but we'll get there in a second. I wanted to leave myself some space because we will need to do something with all these gases. But yeah. Oh, I don't have any power on over here. That's right. Cut all the power out. Yeah, it's going to flash an error for right now. Here, we'll just do this for a moment. Okay. For example's sake, because I've never used one of these and I want to see how they work, we have our fuel mixture in here, nothing in here, and nothing in there. If we crack that valve, we'll get a little bit of fuel mixture in here. And we kick this on. We'll get a very small amount of liquid water and a whole bunch of gaseous water. It's all going to convert back into gaseous water because its temp is absolutely ridiculous. Holy crap, that's hot. So yeah, 1500 degrees Celsius. We could just feed this into the furnace for some great heating gas. Actually, not a bad idea. To strip off some of the stuff we don't need. But essentially what my plan is for this is I kind of wanted to do like a system. So obviously we need to cool this down because the water is way too hot to use. It's all going to be gaseous and we can't exactly use 1500 degrees Celsius water in anything. And we also have all of this furnace exhaust that is much cooler, but still pretty hot. We would like to bring this temperature down to something a little bit more reasonable and also filter off all the stuff we don't want. Obviously, stuff like the CO2 and the O2 is still technically usable to us, so we'll want to kind of hold on to that. Also, the volatiles are as well. We should probably recycle the fuel back into the system from both of our things, because like it's kind of a difficult. I guess maybe we don't have to, because technically we have the biggest well of decent temperature fuel right outside. Like, we don't need to reprocess this. We're not on a complete vacuum planet where every bit of gas is actually pretty precious. So yeah, we'll probably just dump that stuff, honestly. It's way too hot to want to deal with. If we strip it off and just exhaust it outside, that gets rid of a lot of thermal energy that we don't have to deal with then. So I think that's what we'll do. We will make a filter stack to filter out what we want from this, which is going to be O2, N2, and water. We can build those filters. I think water filters are a normal filter type. Yeah, so water. So we need some more filtration units. Atmospherics. Need some rest of that iron. I should have some more over here. Not a ton, but that'll do for now. Can't believe we actually used all that iron. I don't believe we used all that iron I made. I guess maybe we did. But we'll need 3 of these in addition to some tanks and some other stuff.
Air tank low.
Some fresh air. We want to extract the gases that we care about from the gases that we don't. So we're actually going to set this up this way. Now I'm not going to mix this with our filtration that we use for the room over there, because I don't want to really
Waste tank caution.
run the risk of cross-contamination, as it were. Lines up perfectly, because I believe these are our unfiltered connections. So we can just dump that right outside, although we built the wrong unit, and I can't get to the filters if I do this way. Dang it, always running out of space. I need... This one's gonna come back over and in. I guess I don't need all this space. We need at least 2. Well, that didn't solve that problem. It's still gonna be almost impossible to get to. I should have built this one closer. Still good, I guess. Yeah, I really don't want to deal with that. Also, we are going to have a huge temperature disparity between these little nice room temperature filters and these superheated gas filters. Yeah, let's see. We don't have to set it up that way. We could just set it up this way. Oh, I hate that. I hate that the unfiltered goes the way I don't want it to. I like this way. Guess I really could just move this over by 1. It's not going to break anything. Or 2. Thought about placement a bit more before I did it. I should have. Also just nuked all of that gas. That's okay though. Not really, but it's fine. We can actually just put this like could put it all the way over here, but that seems silly. That's going to get annoying. I want to tie them into this. Let's actually just real quick before we get over our heads. we need to bring over our vent gases from over here, which are going to be fun to route as it stands. That's not a valid placement option. And that is... that should work. You know what, honestly... this will be fine. I'm sure I'll never regret putting it in the corner there. Not like getting to that switch is going to be annoying in the slightest. I do want to leave room to put a valve there just in case I need one. All right, now we just have to reroute our plumbing. And this should be set up. Well, besides the power. This is gonna be kind of ugly. Oh well. We do with what we can with what we have. Actually, wait, why did I do this? I could have just... Dang it! Didn't have to be ugly after all. I'm just a little silly. And blind sometimes. Hopefully that didn't break anything. Shouldn't have, it's all done by names. Okay, now this is set up again. I forgot to put my valve back in. Don't tell me it's running, it's not. Alright, we'll put it right there. What I'm hoping to use this one-way valve for is kind of as sort of a backflash preventer to keep from the combustion that happens over here from going back into our fuel tank and blowing up the whole base. I don't know if that actually works, but I can hope. Alright, now we should have enough space for our filtration units. One, two. Nice. Need some more plumbing. Do I have any more pipes over here? No, I do not. Let that run for a minute while we finish up what else we can. These are going to need regular pipes first. One, two, three, four, five, six. Now you can get back to making those. And screwdriver, cable coil. And we can wire these all up real quick while we're here. Okay. So let's do some naming real quick. So this is going to be filtration O2, filtration N2, filtration, what was the last one that I actually wanted? CO2. Why do I want CO2? Oh no, water. This one's going to be filtration H2O. This one's going to be for O2. This one's going to be for N2. So the goal of these is to filter out the stuff we want to keep from our burned products. That is going to give us some very, very hot gases, which we will need to cool down to a usable temperature, and specifically with the water we will need to condense. Now we can do that condensation in, drumroll please, a condensation chamber. Which is probably going to be the most controlled way to do it. We could also just use I think it's a condensate valve. Oh. Poop. No. Oh. Dang it. Well, at least it's cold in here now. Our liquid nitrogen tank is full of nitrogen. But yeah, this is essentially what we're going to do with, well, the reverse of this with the water. Okay, we could probably stop making pipes right now. For a little bit, at least. That was a goof. How much did I lose? Not much. Jeez, this thing has a lot of liquid water nitrogen in it. Does this hurt me? No. Okay. It is fine for all intents and purposes, it appears. Oh, and it's gone. Alright. Well, that wasn't the worst thing that's ever happened. Let me swap this out. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty basic filter setup. We're just going to take our plumbing here, pipe it into each of these, cascade this.
Hydration critical.
And then this one is just gonna send it right outside. So now let's swap our waste tanks real quick. Get that back to filter, and oxygen's doing fine right now. Head into our little interior space to top up on water real quick. Oh, that's not the end of the world. We let a little nitrogen into our atmosphere here. All right. Oh, there's my potato. It's under the shelf. I put this that it won't just disappear. All good on food and water. Potatoes are regrowing. Temperature in here is doing fine. How's our CO2 levels in here doing? I could use a little bit of a bump. %. All right. So now we need to store and cool each of these gases to a reasonable temperature. Now, this brings us back to our age-old question of how in the world do we cool things on Vulcan, because it's a real pain in the neck. We tried this setup down here. It functions, but it's, I'm not gonna lie, not great. There is some issues with it where basically this tank of gas gets saturated fairly quickly, and then no more work. Like heat saturated from our AC system. And I kind of had an idea, because one of the issues we're having with this is that when we turn the vents on and try and draw in the nighttime cool air, a bunch of pollutants just condense. So what if we just made a giant tank of condensed pollutants? Kind of like this giant tank of liquid nitrogen. And then we evaporated those condensed pollutants to bring the temperature of everything down. So that's what I'm going to try. I don't know if it's going to work, but there's nothing risked, nothing learned. We'll grab some iron frames because we have some left over apparently. A few iron sheets. What we need to actually make a powered vent. We need an Invar. I've avoided making Invar because it needs such stupidly high pressures. I guess we can try. It's iron and nickel, and we have nickel. Should have iron here somewhere. Nickel. Really working at trying to get rid of this last little bit of nitrogen. Or not nickel. Invar. Go for it. Oh, we're getting pretty close. I guess this is a little easier than I thought. Should be the right temperature. I guess the pressure is a little high now. Are we dumb? Did we put the... Oh, it made it. Okay. Jeez. Wait, no, that's steel. There's the Invar. Like, where is it? It's done. I need some electrum as well. I wanted some powered vents. Just because these pull in a little bit more oomph. Then we'll need some pipes. Because the vents... require some pipes and plastic sheets. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna need a valve, because I think these can be used to convert into condensation valves. Yep. Probably want more than one of those. A pressure regulator. Or two. No, we already had two. Alright, that's fine. Some cowls. A tank. Then what else do we need? We need a evaporation chamber. And that should in theory be just about it. Phase change device. Oh, we'll need a liquid tank. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to work, but my theory is that it's going to work fine. And some liquid pipes. And get rid of all this nitrogen. It's taking a minute. What else do we not need? We're going to grab a new roll of cable. We don't need these Probably don't need that. Yeah, we probably don't need that. We can come and get it if we do. We've got plastic sheets, we've got iron sheets. We need regular pipes for the various things that need them. Steel sheets for the phase change device. I'm learning a little bit. Probably a purge valve to get rid of any excess pollutants. I think is made from a volume pump, question mark? Pressure regulator. Alright, we got plenty of those. And yeah, let's see if that's enough. We can come back and get more if we need it. Oh, we got some here already. Oh, pipes. There we go. Let's see how we do. Come over to our outside space here. Grab our iron frames. Set ourselves up a little experimentation area. Forgot to bring power out. Let's see. Do I know where power is? Can I build on the other side of the wall? Sort of. Probably not enough. Almost. Just let me have it. No. Sad. Alright. There we go. Grab another pipe cowl while we're in here. All right, so for this experiment, we're going to stick our vent, let's just say right here. Screwdriver. Some of the like tool requirements are a smidge confusing. Also, like, how do you use a welder with plastic sheets? Still not entirely clear on that one. But again, it is a game. It's good game. Yeah. It's a good game at that. It will want to wire this into our logic system, because eventually I'd like to automate this, but proof of concept wise, we're going to run this manually. Alright. That's cabled in. Let's grab our pipes and our tank. So, start off, we've got our intake right there. Let's grab tank number 1. So this is our gas pressure holding tank. So, if we turn that on, check inside of there, we've got some pressure. Good. Now we do want to limit this pressure because we don't want this to explode. So this is what our pressure regulators are for. And our pipe cowls. We can toss those back in there, put them in there. Grab pipe cowls, pressure regulators. So, pressure regulators. These are going to be back pressure regulators to start with. We're going to go, let's just say, I can find the orientation that I want right here. Let's set up 2 of them because I fear that one's not enough. So we're gonna set these both. So we don't technically have to set them both, but we're gonna set this one to 15 megapascals, and this one, let's just say to 20 megapascals. Turn both of them on. Then we're going to set up our condensation valves as well. These should, if we get any pollutant, which we should get quite a bit, bake it in and dump it directly into, and I hate where that data port ends up. That's unfortunate. I guess we'll have to move this over by 1. Our pollutant tank. So let's wire it up and give it a try. These just need power so they'll work. Again, I'm going to wire everything in because eventually this will be automatic as long as it functions. I don't know if this works. I've done no research and I have no reason to believe it will, but I just kind of hope so. So let's see. Oh, it's getting warm again. Dang it! It has to be cold enough for this to work, for us to do this. So while we're waiting, we can go back and work on the inside some more. So we have to be below 150 outside temperature for this to even work at all, because that's the highest temperature that our wonderful pollutants can exist in liquid form at. Alright, so back on the inside. We need some tanks to hold each of these, and we're just going to use the whatchamacallits, portable tanks. So we need we need 4 portables connectors, and I'm out of iron, but I'm not. Plenty more in here. And by plenty more, I mean just a little bit more. Guess I should have grabbed some more iron when I was out mining. Hopefully it will be enough. All right. So it's essentially just going to be a kind of miniaturized setup from what we had outside. We didn't need to build this inside necessarily. Probably shouldn't have built it inside, but what's done is done. We're here now. It's okay. Actually, I can. Okay, that will be useful. We are going to want... we need to set up heat exchangers again. All direct heat exchangers. I know these don't have a huge the quick temperature change ability, but it's what I've got, so it'll do. And then we are going to need a... Oh, honestly, yeah. 3 of these should be fine. Whoops. That's not where I want that.
Air tank low.
Alright, so now each of those is plumbed into its own heat exchange system. Grab some fresh air. Dump our volatiles. So... and we want to slap a valve. In there. So... we just need to plumb that in. What's the temperature looking like outside right now? Still super hot because it's still daytime. All right, we'll continue working on this then. So for our water, we're gonna have to do something special. For O2 and N2, these can just kind of get cooled as they will, because they won't get cooled to the point of being frigid. And we might also set up kind of one other thing. How big are these? Do they need frames? Yeah, this will work out well. Oh, they do require frames. Pain
Hydration critical.
in the neck. Well, we might have to figure out. Essentially what I was thinking about doing is, because these will be so much hotter than the outside world, we can set up some radiators with some digital valves and a little bit of simple logic to say, essentially, if the outside world is cooler than the gas in our filtered gas tank, chill it. So that we can cool it down a little bit. How's our potatoes doing? They're now actually out of food. Oh, they're harvestable. We'll let them seed first because I'm not like starving yet. I actually have a little bit of nutrition bar left that I should probably eat to increase my food quality. Oh, that's just the winter. It's just like, what's strained? Eventually I have to make some heal pills so I can actually, like, fix my lungs. But yeah, the radiators would definitely help cool it to at least the nice cool night temperature of like 130 degrees. And then we could let the active cooling kind of take over from there, but we'll work on that if we get a chance. All right, it's getting cooler out, so let's go outside so we can test out our theory and finish building this stuff. So this needs to feed into a evaporation chamber. This is essentially going to be an open loop air conditioner. I just kind of hope that the system is able to keep up. So let's see what's going on here. We're increasing the pressure pretty rapidly. Now, once we get around 3 megapascals of pressure in here, the pollutants should start to liquefy. Maybe. Hopefully. This usually did. This has been a problem in past. Why do I feel like I've made a terrible mistake and this is a huge waste of time? Oh, there we go. Pollutant is starting to build up quite quickly. We are collecting liters of the stuff. Stress in the pipe is still climbing, which is not great. Stationeers pipes are made of sugar. .jpg. It's going to stop at around 11.7% stress. Yeah, it seems to have reached steady state. This is cooling because it's evaporating. So we've gathered 5 liters in there and 50 liters in here. That's mostly because it seems like it's evaporating faster over here than it's building up. But this should reach kind of an equilibrium at a certain point. hopefully. Yeah, so this should in theory reach a steady state, because once it's evaporated enough pressure to make, just worried that that pressure is going to be rather high. Once it's evaporated up to the pressure, like higher than these pipes can maintain, because they can only maintain 5 MPa. Hopefully not. We are doing fractional distilling, or like fractional, yeah, I guess it's fractional distilling here, using pressure instead of temperature in this case, to separate pollutant from our other outside gas mixtures, which just gives us a very easy source of lots of pollutant gas if we ever need that. Is it going to start building up, or are we just SOL? Because essentially, like, if we go to the pollutant page, right, what we're seeing is, let's grab the Celsius scale here. So at around 5,000 kPa, it'll be a temperature of 104. Right now it's trying to settle around 60, which is, 4,000 kPa. What? Oh, that was like a sweat globule, I guess. Not super hot in my suit, so. But yeah, pollutant is still evaporating faster inside the system than it is condensing, I guess. At least I don't have to worry about the pipes exploding right now. It's done some cooling work, because it's, cooled itself down to 0.4 or 65 degrees Celsius. We are going to definitely need a safety valve on this, much as I hate to say it. This is going to kind of potentially be the death of the efficiency of the system. Okay, that's a pain in the neck. Need more pipe gals. Set this to 4,900. $90 kPa. Oh crap, it's hot again. This only works at night, obviously. Because if it's too hot for liquid pollutant to condense, it's not gonna, do the whole condensing thing. This might just need charged. And 60 degrees C is not something to scoff at here on Vulcan. Let's see how it maintains throughout the day. We're going to have to grab that pipe cowl and turn that on real quick. And technically, if we have a decent amount of thermal load on the system, it shouldn't really be a problem either. Ah! Fell down the crevasse behind my base. Yeah, so we've evaporated all of our pollutant, liquid pollutant, into gaseous pollutant. Cooler gaseous pollutant, honestly not bad. Honestly, if we just hook this up to our heat exchangers, it'd probably be fine. 60-degree gas is usable for most things. We'd have to hook up an AC system to the... Sure, just get rid of this busted stuff while I'm out here. Clean it up real quick. It's not terrible to just have some 60-degree pollutants kicking around. We'd have to cool the O2 to make it more readily breathable. But compared to the daytime 950 degrees, which I'm going to eat inside from, it's not terrible. Not great, but not terrible. I was hoping to get it a little bit cooler, but we'll see if we can do that tomorrow night. While we're inside, let's grab some portable gas tanks. Of iron for one of these. Dang. Need more iron. Oh, while I'm making that one, we'll just grab our mining belt. Walk out the front door, grab a little bit of iron. Just top off our oxygen first. It's not like we're technically wasting it at this point, because we're just recycling it, but still not great to just be running around outside during the day. One of the things I also need to do is do some more exploring for a good source of deep mining area. I would love somewhere that gets us like iron, copper, and coal, or at least coal nearby. I don't know that there's any. I've taken like a couple looks when they first released this update at like the ore distribution mapping for each area, and I don't know that there's anywhere that shares coal and iron in one area, but essentially what I'd love to do is set up like a completely fully autonomous deep miner outpost that just prints steel, iron, copper, and silicon, ideally. And that would be like turbo nice for building the big trade platform. Because that's, I think, my goal here is to make like turbo mega money here on Vulcan, taking advantage of its resource-rich nature to set up, become a intergalactic trading tycoon. So last game I played was the goal of getting off the planet, technically, even though we never, like, you can't actually launch yourself in one of them rockets, but we launched a rocket. It was successful. This time, I want to more than just launch a rocket. I want to make fat stacks of cash or space credits. So that's the goal this time. Money. And we're going to need a much more sizable and sustainable operation to make money quickly. Alright, that's plenty of iron for now. Check on how this is doing real quick. Yeah, it's all evaporated, but that's fine. Like I said, it cooled down to 60, which is a great start. Way better than we've done with our traditional cooling setup. Or we could always cascade this system. We could set up a traditional, like, closed-loop phase change cooling system attached to a open-loop, you know, nighttime condensation-based phase change cooling system. Also an option. Let's see. Well, this recording is also getting a smidge long. I think next time when we come back, we will continue working on setting this up, because I would like to get these gases filtered, cooled, and get a sustainable source of liquid water in my base. My starter base, I should say. So, with night falling, the temperature dropping, I'll catch up with you next time when we can continue our exploration of trying to make liquid water. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like and a subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week.